Denne episoden sponset av Innlandet Maskinutleie AS, et ledende utleiesenter for anleggsbransjen med en moderne maskinpark. Ta kontakt om du vil leie av en bedrift med sans for kvalitet, det være seg Rolex eller Caterpillar.
Attends, Robin, what's your name again?
Trond.
Trond.
Yeah.
Trond?
Trond. Easy peasy.
Okay.
Like the movie Tron.
Okay.
You know? Yeah, so it's Tron.
Trond.
You can call me Megatron.
Okay.
Mine damer og herrer, velkommen til Luksurfellen episode 6. We're going to do this in English today.
Yes, we are.
Together with me, I have Robin. We have cooperated with episodes before about Junge&Co. And today we have Xavier from Czapek.
Welcome, Vikings of the world, watch lovers from everywhere. Wherever your boats have brought you,
Yes.
you can listen to us and enjoy that moment.
And indeed, I will. Because this, humbly, as I always say, think this is an honor to have you in our big podcast. Much appreciated that you're doing this with us and coming to Norway for this event. I cannot say thank you enough. So, with that being said, tell us a little bit about your story about Czapek. Let's just dig into it, and we'll talk about your story, the watches, and a little bit about the watch fair that we're having.
Yeah.
When I hear an introduction like that, I wonder whether I wasn't better when I was unknown, struggling in the kitchen or in the cellar or in the top of the house to try to start Czapek with very limited means, struggling and living an adventure that was nearly invisible.
Yeah.
Now it's more visible, so I have to accept to play the game with you guys, and it's fun to be here. But the story, well, it's two stories in one, because there is a story of Czapek starting, 1811. He was born in Bohemia. This is part of Czechia. And then he moved to Poland in 1831. The Russians invaded Poland, and the Polish made a rebellion called the Warzawianka. And this rebellion finished in a bloodbath, the most numerous being the one winning. And so every Polish involved in that rebellion had to flee away. And Czapek went to Geneva and registered as a watchmaker and started a business with a guy named Moreau. And 1833, and in 1836 he meets another Polish guy who had fought against the Russians. So you can imagine the brotherhood of the two guys. And this guy is called Antoine Norbert de Patek, and he has more cash than the two Czapek and Moreau had. So they start a company, and they finally can buy, gold for making gold pocket watches. And this is an example of a minute repeater or quarter repeater that they made. And so that's the beginning of a certain success.
Yeah.
It's a 6-year contract that's very traditional in Switzerland in that period of time. You make a business contract for 6 years. And after 6 years, well, the partners look at each other. I'm looking at Robin, who lived that recently. And they say, do we want to continue together or do we want to part ways? And sometimes you part ways in a very amicable way. Yes. And that's what happened there. And basically, Patek and Czapek separated. And Czapek created Czapek & Company, third business in his history. And that's the one we're talking about today. Yeah. And this business is in immediate success, because the Polish are very loyal to the Polish watchmaker. And Czapek was the watchmaker. So immediately he gets orders from everywhere in Europe, and enough to actually go to a city called Paris and open a little shop in a nice area called Place Vendôme. And it's the first shop selling watches of the Place Vendôme. It's not the first watchmaker that has been in Place Vendôme, but it's the first shop. And he gets the attention of Napoleon III, and they become the watchmakers of Son Altesse Impériale, le Prince Napoléon. And that's really the start of the fame about Czapek, who is having a shop there. He's even having a shop in Warsaw, in Faubourg de Cracovie, which is like the Champs-Élysées of Warsaw. And he also has, of course, in Geneva, his workshop to make his watches. The funny thing is that the logo of Czapek was discovered after we made the logo.
Yes.
From out of the blue, we tried to find a logo that was expressing the values we are finding in Czapek. And the two logos are completely, I would say, similar. And it's one of the three very big coincidences where you think there is an angel over every entrepreneur that helps him in a special way.
This is really close.
This is discovered. This is made in 2014-15. This is discovered in 2016, 2015-16.
Wow.
So 1 year later by Pierre-Yves Donzé, our historian. So big coincidence, but it's not the only one. And then he made a book on watchmaking. First book written in Polish about watchmaking. It says Zegarmistrowie. This is a reproduction for students, and he explained the art of taking care of watches. Now, we took one of his watch as an inspiration for making the collection. And the reason was we don't want to be an ego-led company. We want to be a company that is paying tribute to Czapek because he was a fantastic watchmaker of that time and because he had a dream, which was to reinvent beauty in every of his watches. Yeah. So beauty is the key word behind every Czapek watch. Now, if we take 1 minute to think about what is beauty, this morning I was talking to someone and he said immediately, yeah, well, that's a question of taste. We were speaking about something else than watches. And then you will think that. And in my mind, I thought, okay, I'm not going to tell the guy, think about Leonardo Vinci before you make a statement like that. Because some pieces of art, everybody agrees on the strengths, on the attractiveness. You can like it more or less, but you have to recognize how beautiful they are. Yeah. So in beauty, this is something I discovered, that everybody agrees when it's outstanding.
Yeah.
Everybody agrees when it's horrible, and nobody agrees in the middle. That's a study made about 20 years ago across the globe on every kind of nation, ethnic, country. Mm. And that's a very important thing, and that's what drives us to work and rework every model. So we have an approach to beauty, which is in the line of Czapek, but we intend every time to convince everyone about the authentic approach to beauty that every watch is making.
Yeah.
Okay, so then let's look now at the watches. Okay, so we have the first watch we are going to show is a small Kedeberg. The first Kedeberg was a large watch of 42 millimeter, and now this is a 38.5 millimeter watch, and it's mixing enamel. So the blue sapphire here is made in enamel. It's a color that is ours. Yeah. So it was selected by Donzé Cadran for us after a search and trials during 1 year to get the right blue, a blue that was a sort of an imperial blue, if you want, and that nobody else would use. And below, you have a plate in silver, white silver, because silver creates a certain tone of blue. Gold creates other tones of blue. So when you want a specific blue, you don't necessarily have the choice. And the silver has been stamped with a matrix, and the matrix before has been guilloché. So we use hand guilloché, rose engine, to make the pattern, and then we stamp the plate, and then we enamel it to create this beautiful effect. And with the white crisp of the dial, of the decalque and of the hands, you got a very modern take on something that is initially from far could be classical. Yeah. And that's the idea, Beauty is made of two elements, one that you understand that is a bit eternal, and one that is more ephemeral and that creates goosebumps, that get under the skin. So the second collection we created and launched in 2017 was the Place Vendôme and we don't show it yet. We're going to show the new Place Vendôme model. This is the third one. This is the Faubourg de Cracovie. So it's an integrated chronograph with a beautiful finish, 5 hertz, and extremely reliable in the construction.
Give it to me.
Yes.
It's just amazing.
And this is the execution with an aventurine dial. So the aventurine is a piece of glass, and inside it there is some pieces of metal, and the color is always very dark, from dark blue to black. Here it's a dark blue, so it really sort of represents the sky. It could be a Norwegian sky just before or after an aurora borealis. We've been always very inspired, by the sky when we created watches. And always these watches are watches to discover from the face, but also from the back.
Yes.
They are like beautiful women. So when you look at the back, you also. I'm gonna be called sexist now, but my wife agrees too that it's very important to make.
We have 97% male audience.
And as I said, my wife also agrees that it should be a beautiful watch and it should be a beautiful movement. So everything has to fit together. Okay, so this is the Place Vendôme that we will see at last. That was the second collection. And we've seen the third one, the Chrono, Faubourg de Cracovie. And we go now to this collection. And that's the Antarctic. And the Antarctic is what has been a game changer for us. It came actually from talking to the rare people. We have a motto saying, we collect rare people. That's our slogan. And so the rare people are someone like you, Ron. Yes?
My wife says that all the time.
You are one of the rare people of Czapek. Robin is a rare people. He's even more of a rare people now for some time.
In Norwegian, it's double meaning rare and strange.
Yeah, I know.
Strange people.
I know. It's also in English, but
we feel strange sometimes when we see beauty like this, and that's why we love doing what we do. Because I totally agree. You've hit a nerve in the watch community, because this watch is on everybody's tongue right now.
And when you want to be rare, you need to be different.
Yeah.
There's no way you can fit into this by trying to be nice to everyone. You need to make a statement and say, I go for that. And then everyone will eventually say, oh, that's original. And some people will say, I love it. So the Antarctic was born from some of the rare people, and they said, things like, okay, your Kedeberg is beautiful, but I mean, I wear it more on a dressy day. Yeah. And with a jacket, I look super sharp. That's beautiful. Now, honestly, when I'm on an everyday life and I go to a barbecue with my buddies or do some sport, then I need a watch that is more sturdy. And another one said, okay, I want a Czapek for the beach. Okay, I want to go there and then be on the beach with my kids. And another one said, I want to go to the gym with my Czapek and throw it in my gym bag without risking anything. And the last one was saying, okay, I'm very goofy. I want a Czapek that I can use every day and bump into a door and have no fear of breaking it. Yeah. So we designed that watch, but this is a difficult area. It's a difficult area because it's been populated by many brands, but there was one designer in the 70s that took over sort of the style and created the segment. Yeah. So we pay tribute to him as a watch designer, but we wanted to do something different. Yeah. And so that was the start of the thinking with the movement. So the movement is completely unique. It's been created from scratch, from a white sheet of paper, with Xavier not being a watchmaker saying, and why not? That's the chance of not being a watchmaker, is sometimes to say, and why not doing that? And the guys say, yeah, because we never did it. Okay. It's not acceptable as a reason here. So you need to have a better reason, or we do it. And so we tried many things. And in fact, we buy some pocket watches every year.
Yeah.
1-2 pocket watches. And the last one was a lorgnon. So it's like glasses and watch at the same time. Very funny. Very funny piece. I had to fight on to get it. And in these pocket watches, you see watches with bridges, with many bridges, 3-4 bridges. And I was like, well, we lost the wisdom of the ancients. They were better than us. When I look at all the sport watches, I see the movement, but I just see 2 bridges. Yeah. That's it. Everything is closed. You hardly see some anglage. This is not very interesting from a watchmaking angle. So let's make it interesting. And so let's take the idea of the small bridges, but let's create a design that is modern, and let's have positions that allow to see everything. So it was, again, the idea of eroticism that was driving me. The idea that it would be a movement made like lingerie, that you could see nearly everything, but not everything, so even more exciting. And that's why there is a micro rotor. But a micro rotor is complex to manage on a sport watch because a micro rotor doesn't wind as much as a normal rotor. You just imagine it's twice smaller, and the radius is twice smaller too. So you don't have the lever effect that you have in a larger standard rotor.
But it moves really easy. I really tested it. Small movements and
so that's the second iteration of the movement, the V40, and now we are at the V50, and it's a double, it's a bidirectional, so it moves less freely. Yeah. But it's winding even better. So at the end, again, we broke a legend that was saying that you have to be monodirectional with macro rotor. That's not true. What is important is to have a perfect winding. So this is the birth of this movement. And at the same time, we were looking at the case and at the bracelet. And the whole idea was, if you do a bracelet that is efficient, but with the usual system of the links, it's going to be boring. And in 3 years, this watch will be forgotten. And so, sorry, I take a little bit of water. My voice.
Cheers. I need my Coke.
Yeah, okay, little drinking time. My voice is better. I don't know if you've seen. It's much better than a year ago.
I don't remember your voice because we were at a restaurant.
Yeah, but it's I'm practicing with one of my neighbor. He's an opera singer, and he teaches me to get over my accident and improve my voice back. So it will come. And then with him, because he's also an engineer, we'll make a clock. So it will be the singing clock. I don't know, something crazy that we're going to do. I love to do that with random people.
Yeah.
You know, collaborations, the key for collaboration is the heart of the people. Yeah. Their openness, their creativity. This is what makes Czapek so unique, in fact. Yeah. We don't have preconception. I'm not a watchmaker. I just love watches. I learn to do watchmaking. Yeah. And I break rules because I like that. And that allows us to make new watches differently every time. Now, if I come back to the watch, if you look, it looks very different from every other watch that you have seen. And if you look at the angle here, you feel it's a straight line. But if I show it to you like that, it's curved. And if I show it to you like this, it's also curved. So this is a typical thing for Czapek. Yeah. To hide something in the design that your eyes will see, your brain with subconsciously perceive it. Yeah. But you don't know why. It's not visible. Your brain doesn't know, but there's something here that attracts you, And that's what we like to do. So it's a double curve that is cancelling itself and creating a trompe-l'œil. And that's part of the beauty of the watch.
Creating a
trompe-l'œil.
Trompe-l'œil.
Yeah.
What's the English word for that?
It's like tron, but no, it's trompe-l'œil.
Trompe-l'œil.
Okay, so you start with your first name, Tron, Tron, and then P, and it's like hiding. Okay. Tromper. Yeah. Trompe-l'œil, l'œil is the eyes. Yeah. Okay. There is a word for that in English, but I'm here to represent Inspector Clouseau with a beautiful French accent.
I love it.
And I don't know all the words in English. Sorry for that, my Viking friends.
You will say
Anyway.
it only once.
Yes.
Do you have a rhume? Okay. So that was the start for us of a new era, because suddenly the people were coming to us and say, can I have one? Can I have one? And we moved from 150 watches to 300 watches, then 450 last year. And this year, we're going to make 1,000 watches, which then brings you, an entrepreneur, to the next question, which is, where is the limit? Do I want to put a limit? Do I want to stop? And yes, we want to put a limit. And yes, we don't want to grow too much. And yes, the number is in the thousands. And no, I don't know yet what that number is. But let's say it's less than 5 for sure, and more than 1 for sure.
Yeah.
Between 1 and 5. So probably around 3. That would be probably the best thing, so that people don't have to wait 2 years, because it's not fun for us to have people waiting 2 years to get an Antarctic. And Robin was wise, because actually it's easier to get a Czapek through Robin than through me. That's a paradigm, because when he came to us 2 years, 1 year and a half ago for Watches and Wonder, he said, I really believe in that model. Can I make a very special order? And I said, yeah. But that was the beginning, So we said yes to everyone. and then he had more guts, than other guys, and that's a
I know the story.
typical Viking approach, and I love that. And so today he's gonna get his watches, every week, every month, and that's gonna be easier for everyone to get watches in Norway and around. But that was really the surprise for us.
Yeah.
The surprise then was confirmed with the model that we see in the middle, the rattrapante. So in French, rattrapante means in English split second.
Yeah.
And the split second is a very nice mechanism. And our mechanism, and we decided to have the mechanism on the dial side. This is the first time in the watchmaking industry to have both the chronograph and the rattrapante on the dial side, so that anyone can play with the pusher and show the different mechanism that are with the rattrapante.
It's just beautiful.
So you see, when you press, so I've started it, okay, I stop it, and I reset it. It's a mono pusher for the chrono, because we had no room to have 2 pushers for the chrono, because the other pusher is on the other side at 10 o'clock, and that's the rattrapante. So I start it again, okay, then I press the rattrapante, and you see the red arrow being stopped. So you can choose if you want red, white, or white with a red tip.
Yeah, when you order the watch.
Yes.
Yeah.
We love to personalize watches.
Yeah.
So that you don't get the same watch as your neighbor or anyone. So that's okay. That's a bit of a complex game, huh?
Yeah.
To manage also for Robin to remember he ordered this color or that color, but it makes every watch has a soul, and we want to respect that.
Yeah.
So it makes the watch more special. And now, to finish, Robin, this is the new star.
I would like to say one thing first before we head to the new star, because one of the things that we get from our customers and also the ones that want to order them is, of course, it's 120 meters.
Yes.
That's important and quite rare for a watch like this. Mm-hmm. And also the easy, what do you call it, to change the...
Yes, there is a quick release.
Yeah, so the quick release and also the variety you have with all the different straps makes this such a interesting piece, because you can actually use it also as a dress watch, but you can also use it for a sports watch. So this is all the feedback we are getting is like, it basically, I can have one watch instead of 2.
Yes,
because it's so easy.
And it changes. The rubber changes totally the watch. the
It
look,
does.
the style,
Yeah.
the style. It's a real nice way to play with it. I got some customers who order also on top of it the laser bracelets that you can have, the laser strap,
Yeah.
and or 2 different colors of rubber. So people really like to play with it because you can actually change the bracelet to the strap just with the hands. Huh? It's possible to turn it.
Yeah, it is.
You can use the tool or you can use the hands. It's our mechanism. We did not register it. We registered the design of it, but we didn't patent it because when you have a patent, you have to defend it against everyone. And we said, okay, no, we let everyone use it if they want, but we claim the paternity of it, and that's what is important. This is what is also important is really to try it on the wrists.
Yeah.
Because even the rattrapante, which is a 42.5 millimeter diameter, so it's relatively large. And it's relatively high because it's, I think, 14 something of height. It really fits perfectly on the wrist because we work that aspect by making 3D printing of the case before we machine it until getting the right angle that will fall perfectly on the wrist. So this is something to understand because even for small wrists, I have a small wrist. It's between 16 and 17 centimeter.
Exactly.
And
it
I
still
can
looks
wear.
good.
Yeah, it looks fantastic. Looks fantastic. I used to have even less than 16, but I broke my wrist, so I've got now a titanium wrist, so it's a bit larger. And that's the fact. That's.
But I love hearing you present 2 nights ago. The mood board that you used behind designing the watch, the decisions when it comes to integrated or normal lugs, all these things. It's just like you tell a story. It's really intriguing. So getting to know you and the story behind the watches is I love it. Now that have we talked about the no?
So we have visitors coming to see us.
Yes, the watch fair has
so,
started because we were kind of slow starting the episode, and so the watch fair is on. But that's okay. We have great filters on these röda microphones.
One last thing I want to say, because we had an unboxing a couple of days ago with 2 clients that came from abroad actually, and again, the one guy picking up his rattrapante, he was like, which strap? So he chose 2. He wanted 2 straps.
That's
a great
example.
thing.
Yeah.
And also you have, we don't have the straps here, but you also have the calf skin straps.
Yes.
So you can get really exclusive knives straps as well. So
yeah, we also make bespoke calf so that people can have a special stitching over the leather. I used to work with leather goods and fashion, so I love to play on this sumizura approach, this bespoke approach. So
it's so important.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we do personalized watch. Sometimes we do customized watch, so we go further, and then we even do bespoke watches.
Yeah.
And the same with the bracelets, or the same with the straps. For example, the bracelet can come polished and satin, brushed, or full brushed.
Yeah.
And you can choose to play down by fully brushed, or to play more visible with the original polished and satin brushed version.
So you can choose that also.
Yeah.
Wow.
You can choose whatever you want.
Yeah.
And also one thing to say before we head over to the new novelties is you actually have 2 sizes on the Antarctic.
Yeah.
You have the 40.5 and then you have the S, which is 38.5, which is like a unisex size, but it also fits really good on big wrists like mine. Actually, this is so nice.
It's just perfect. Yeah, it is.
And my wife loves it as well, so it fits on her as well.
Yeah.
So it's like...
Yeah. We're working on a special project for Mabel.
I know, it's a secret.
It's a secret for 100,000 Vikings around the globe.
Yes, we won't
Don't
tell
say
anyone.
it.
Yeah. She doesn't listen to this pod, so
No. Shame on her.
yeah.
And then you will make her listen so that you will know. Everybody knew it except you.
Exactly. So everybody's
She
going to
will
know
be
about
mad.
it, but not her. Yeah.
So everybody is wondering, what is he doing now? Well, we're playing because I have to say that, Norwegian women have very clear ideas.
They do.
And it's very interesting because I have to tell you that it was the first time when we met with all your friends and their wives in Watches and Wonder in Geneva.
Yeah.
It was the first time a group of women was so clear on the inputs. And this is where we started having the bicolor idea, just sitting together around the table and saying, okay, with a blonde girl, blonde hair, we like the steel, but we also like the blonde face, and the blonde hairs. So can you mix the two, make a bicolor, play with that? And this became a sub-project that actually was launched officially 2 weeks ago. So now it's becoming a true story, thanks to a nice meeting together.
She's gonna be here later, actually.
Don't say a word.
I won't.
Secrets. Secrets. Okay, listen to don't say a word. Okay.
Amazing.
So then, of course, a lot of people came to us saying, okay, so Czapek is the Antarctic and that's it. And we launched a new Place Vendôme also to say, no, it's not it, because you cannot limit beauty to just one model. That would be a pity. And because there are so many ways to explore watchmaking. Especially, I would say, haute horlogerie provides with the fact that you can discover so many things.
Yeah.
Finishes. And you mix always, all traditional techniques with very modern materials or with a new way to do this technique. And that's what we love, That was the idea behind that dial, and that became later on the dial with collective Lanikai, where you see the bottom of the sea, So this is the kind of game we like to play. Here we had, and this is good because it's on stop. It's the double escapement with differential. So a double escapement with differential is something very haute horlogerie, because the differential is one of the nicest mechanism invented. It was invented 170 years ago by a French engineer. It was used more for the cars because you can have the external wheel in a turn that goes faster than the internal one. So we use differential every day. We don't know about that, but we're happy with them. And here there are actually two differential in that watch, and one is the one that is visible, and one is the one for the power reserve. And in fact, most of the power reserve indicators in watches are using differentials that are hidden below the dial and between the dial and the plate.
Okay.
Here we focused on it because we wanted it to become the star of the show. So it's a differential with 3 conical pinion. Conical pinion, you never see them in watchmaking because they are very hard to make, because you have to make them teeth by teeth, And this is the running. So this one is top. I will wind it after, so you can see actually clearly the screws of the escapements. It's a classic with a Breguet spiral, so a curved spiral escapement, and then you have all the train of the escapement from the oscillator to the differential that is showed thanks to the first sapphire bridge.
Yeah.
And the second sapphire bridge, which looked like a Batman sign or a butterfly, is holding the differential and creates a beautiful effect. You can wind it. I know you cannot wind it because you hold the camera, but Robin can wind it. Or
There's
I can
something
wind
with
it.
the camera.
You want to wind it?
Yeah, I can wind it.
So you will see it starts with in your hand. Just go, like this, back and forth. That's the fastest way to wind. And it's gonna start.
Yes.
You see?
It winds both ways. Unirotational wind.
No, actually, no. It's many people are afraid of winding. When you wind, you can go backward. It doesn't wind.
Yeah.
But you actually are faster winding by going back and forth. No, so it's typical movement of a watch lover. And the winding wheel is actually winding wheel from Bernard Lederer, who is the one who created this movement for us. Mm-hmm. we created the concept. We had the concept in a drawer for 5 years, 3 years and a half, 4 years. And we couldn't find anyone to help us do it because it was too difficult to have the differential at 12 o'clock and the two escapements at 4:30 and 7:30. But that's a typical distribution of elements of Czapek. So we wanted to respect that, except that technically it was a big challenge. And the way that Bernard resolved that was by creating an architecture very special for this watch, where there are 2 cannon pinions. So one cannon pinion in the center for the hour, minute, and second, and that's a classic approach. But there is another cannon pinion below the differential, so that we can have a direct hour, direct second. Direct hour, direct minute, and indirect second. So when you turn around here, you can see that this wheel here has elastic toothing. Elastic toothing, you know.
Yeah.
What is elastic toothing? It means that you have a teeth that is cut nearly in the middle, and so this part is like a blade that is flexible, and this allows to have no more angle play, and so we eliminate the angle play that an indirect second would have. I'm getting technical a bit, but you know, in haute horlogerie you have to be technical.
Love it.
There's no way you can understand it without getting very technical. It's all this for the purpose of beauty.
Yeah.
Voilà.
And beautiful you are. I have to... the crowd is coming now, so it's. I'm trying not to be stressed about the audience out here, but I know
think they're managing. But
I think they're doing really fine without us. But we need to go start selling these watches also.
But this new complexity is a limitation of 100 pieces
Yes.
in total. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Correct.
And already a lot have been.
58 when I took the plane. I don't know for this weekend if Patrick or Pierre have sold a few more. We met a lot of people interested.
Yeah.
So we don't know, but I expect it's good because it was not sold in 10 minutes, like the last Rattrapante. So it gives more time to everyone to think about it. And I expect it to be sold by the end of the year.
Yeah.
That would be a good achievement, and at the same time a pleasure to think that everyone could access to this watch.
And just to say,
Yeah.
Junge&Co, we have 2 coming
Yes.
our way.
Yes.
So I just had to say that.
Yes. Only 2. But
2 is,
2 is nice.
more than 1.
Yes.
Robin
Exactly.
Junge, as you say in Norwegian, is Robin Young in English.
Yeah, it's forever young.
Forever young. Can you say something at the end now about the price range for our listeners?
So we would start. So I say in Swiss francs, okay?
Yeah, that's
no problem.
Yeah.
And then you translate
Yeah.
Robin and live. So we would start about 18,000 with the first Kedeberg model, 7-day power reserve and enamel or guilloche. Sorry. And then we would move to 22,000 with the Antarctic. Then 34,000 with the Chrono, with Aventurine. And then we moved to 50. Well, that was a limited edition. The next edition will be in the range of 55, 60 for the Rattrapante.
Yeah.
And the last one is 85,000. That's the double escapement with differential.
Yeah. Thank you. Wrapping up this episode, I just need to say one more time, thank you so much for coming. I mean, it means a lot for Robin, I know, but for this big international hit called Luksurfellen of a podcast. We just started off with, this is our sixth episode. We had a Nachspiel, as we call it in Norwegian, after play. No. After party. After the first night, so my voice is kind of... we always sing Vikings when we get together. So my voice is kind of sexy, today.
So you have to think before you close.
Yeah.
What is the question you always wanted to ask but didn't dare to ask
Yeah.
in a podcast? And I'm ready to play the game to add a little spice to our exchange. Or you, Robin, it's the same, You can go for any question.
I think what we want to know is, would it be possible to have a Norwegian or Nordic edition?
Yeah,
Special edition made.
that's a good place to ask, because
Yeah.
then I cannot say no in public. But anyway, I always love to do things for my friends. So yes, of course, that's a pleasure to do a
That would be
Nordic
nice.
edition.
Yeah.
And I think just after giving back the microphone to Tron, you got a name for something technical, right? I don't know, honestly, like the movie Tron. That's fantastic. And
Megatron.
Megatron. And so we will do a limited edition Nordic, trying to play with the culture and with all the elements, so that everyone can recognize discreetly, in a subliminal manner, the beauty of this land.
Something Arctic, probably.
Something Arctic,
Yeah.
really tough.
Perfect.
Of course, which your watches are already tough, but that would be a cool thing to do. I had a question in my head before we started talking this, but it just fell out. So let's wrap this up. Thank you so much, and let's start selling watches.
Thank you very much.
Bye, guys.
Thank you, Xavier.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Denne podkasten er laget i samarbeid med Investornytt, den komplette nettavisen for alle typer investorer.